Hello and welcome to Critic Interviews, my interview show where I invite MLP analysts, reviewers and other such titles, and I ask them questions and they answer them. For the first time on the show, I have a new co-host, GeekySteven. Say hello.
Hey, I exist still, I guess.
And my guest for this time is the Comic Sans Pony. Say hello.
Hi, I'm a pony, not the font, so don't get mad at me.
The most hated font in all of the internet. I shall never use it.
It is the most overused font, but I love it because it has so many comedic uses.
I remember in college, my lecturer, he said if you use Comic Sans, I will kill you. So.
Well, he's a downer.
But then again, it was a game development class. We were all nerds. Yeah.
So we all use Comic Sans.
So let's get on with the questions. First question: how did you become a brony? How did you start getting into the fandom?
Well, back in high school, which actually wasn't that long ago, I had a few friends who were bronies, and they convinced me to at least consider watching the show. Though it wasn't until earlier this year, actually, when I just got bored enough. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch My Little Pony, and so then I went to Netflix and started watching it. And I unfortunately don't have a specific episode. It's just I liked it, and then I decided I'm gonna start making videos for it because why not?
Favorite pastime, I guess. Okay, anyway. Next question. What is your favorite episode of MLP and why? No specific season, just like out of the entire show. What is your favorite episode of My Little Pony?
It's really hard to determine because I'm one of those people who pretty much likes every single episode, even if there's kind of bad things about the episode. If I had to pick a favorite,
Which
I
one do you
guess
enjoy watching?
I guess Suited for Success. That's the one with the with Art of the Dress in it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Rarity's Mickey dresses and the main six don't really like it as much, so they want her to redesign them.
Yes. I like that one. Mostly for the song because even though yes, the song's about making dresses. I'm currently actually a film student, and the creative process, I guess, kind of I can relate to the creative process because I make I want to make films when I get out of college and stuff like that. So I guess that's why I like that episode and the song specifically, I guess. I hope that
Okay.
answered the question.
That answered the question fine enough.
That was good, better than I was hoping. Is there anything specific you want to see in season 5? Like episodes? I don't, I don't know. Anything?
Like
Uh,
like
there's
theories and
a
stuff.
few interesting things that I've discussed with various people and stuff. One is I would really like to see. I know it'd be kind of difficult because it's a kids show and it's about time was complicated enough, but more time travel because it is technically going to put it into the umbrella of canon, quote unquote, because in the Journal of the Two Sisters, Starsworld the Bearded has the time travel spell, the one shown in About Time, and a more perfected version. So clearly, time travel is possible. So it'd be cool to have another episode based around time travel. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, so I like a lot of time travel stuff.
Well, time travel is very hard to actually get right.
I
There are
was
specific rules one needs to follow in order to make a good time travel plot.
I was hoping in It's About Time they would have done more with the time travel plot, like that pot that falls onto Twilight's head during it. I I wanted them to do more with that instead of it just being this ridiculous and pointless gag.
But it's the Pinky sense. It's Pinkie Pie. Don't question it.
Well,
Very
I'm
true.
glad that that specific episode didn't really play with time travel all that much
It
because
is a
the
kids
more you
show.
play with it, the more that you can screw up the plot.
Yeah, it's a kids show, so that they weren't gonna go too detailed into it. But I'd also like to see just any actual presence of Star Swirl the Bearded. I mean,
Yeah, that would be
they've built
nice.
up the hype for this guy for so long. Can he
And yet we
make an
still haven't
appearance?
physically seen him. We mostly see him like in poster boards and books and stuff.
Yeah.
And we've
It's
seen him in
also
the comics.
yes.
Exactly, books. That's why I'm saying.
Yes. Like they've hyped him up for so long. Let's have him in the show. Because it's implied in the Journal of the Two Sisters that he has at least briefly been to present day Equestria because sorry, he knew something about um, Twilight, or implied he knew something about Twilight and the star symbol on the Tree of Harmony. So he might show up, and I would like that to be a thing. The question is, who would voice him?
Morgan Freeman. Next question.
Okay, who is your favorite pony and why?
Okay, my favorite pony. I'm gonna give kind of more than one answer to this because fandom interpretation of various ponies. I'm a big fan of Derpy or Ditsy Doo or whatever you want to call her. Muffin. I love muffins. Whatever the Hasbro official merchandising says her name is. I like the fandom interpretation of that character. Unfortunately, due to the whole controversy that started when she finally spoke in, was it last roundup, I think? Her characterization in the show is kind of gonna be non-existent. But if we're going with canon characters,
Yeah, canon,
I
that's
am
what I'm saying.
in no particular order. Uh, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash, and Fluttershy as far as main characters, and then for the CMC, I guess maybe I think Scootaloo is the best CMC.
Yeah, School is pretty good, but I think Sweetie Belle, she's my personal favorite.
Okay. And
Yeah,
so,
I think Sweetie Belle used to be my favorite, but I think I've moved over to Applebloom. I just, for some reason, I like her better.
yeah, and then as far as fan created OCs like in fan fiction and stuff, Little Pip is pretty awesome.
Ah yes, Little Pip followed to Equestria. Took me a week to read that whole thing.
I just listened to the 62-hour audiobook.
Jeez.
It's a really long fan fiction, but if you have the time, you should definitely read
Maybe
it.
Yeah.
I'll put it on like when I'm playing a game for several hours or something. Like something to stimulate my mind.
Yeah, because there is an audiobook by I think it's Crazed Rambling or whatever on YouTube. It's 62
62
hours long.
hours.
Yes,
Jesus.
62 hours.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, next
Dear
question.
sweet Celestia, that's a long book.
So the Brony fandom, obviously, there's been a lot of how shall I say, controversy surrounding it since its inception. What I want to know is what you think of. What I want to know is what you think of the whole controversy surrounding it. Do you think it's justified? And why do you think grown men watch it?
Well, I mean, on the surface, like it's a bunch of grown men watching a girls' show, but nobody freaked out when grown men were watching Powerpuff Girls or Sailor Moon or any other shows that were particularly girly in theme. But suddenly, when men start watching My Little Pony, we've gone too far. Um,
Yeah, it's
but I
because
don't.
I think it's because My Little Pony was like the epitome of like girly
well,
stereotypes.
here's the thing with My Little Pony. Before like eons ago, ponies were specifically aimed at little girls. Powerpuff Girls was not specifically aimed at little girls. It was more to a wide variety of young kids, not one specific group of young kids. So that's why people are having a hard time accepting the fact that grown men watch this.
Yeah, and Powerpuff Girls is like really violent.
Exactly. They don't know anything about friendship.
But yeah, I don't think it should be as like I don't know, controversial to be a brony. Like I actually I have another channel that I really should update. It's a daily vlog. And when I actually officially said in that daily vlog that I was in fact a brony, or at least as I put it in that video, I would be what would be considered a brony. um, I kind of came to the realization why some people of other fandoms, such as like uh, Doctor Who being a Whovian, or I'm not really a Trekkie, but I guess similar situation. The name for that fandom that you call yourself comes with this sort of stereotype about your fandom. So when you say I'm a brony, it comes with the stereotype that you probably
They're
aren't
like a
the cleanest
pedophile.
person out there, and you wear a fedora, and you're kind of creepy.
Yeah,
You
Uh,
wear a
I've
fedora?
never heard of this whole. Well, actually, I've heard of the whole thing, but about bronies wearing fedoras. But like, where did it come from?
Wearing
I
fedoras.
think
That's
it's
something I've actually never heard.
I made out of fedora. It's another kind of hat that I can't remember the name of right now. It's
Yeah,
not exactly
I
a
remember
fedora,
seeing it in a
but
cartoon. It was like this skit about uh something called FedoraCon. So I think it is fedora.
I I think it kind of I think it stemmed from like the stereotypical like creeper person,
Ah,
because people thought that people who are bronies are creepers, not the exploding Minecraft kind of creepers, like
yeah.
pervert creepers.
People who
And so
go
they
into
kind
your
of
house.
associated wearing the I don't, it's not a fedora, it's another type of hat that looks very similar
Mm.
to being something that bronies do. And I think there are a few people that actually do wear it kind of ironically, but it's part of the stereotype, unfortunately, because people think that we're creepy perverts when we're not. At least not all of us.
There are a handful of exceptions. I know there have.
Yes.
In fact, I know of one specific person, but I'm not going to name any names right now. Let's just move on to the next question if you guys are ready.
Yep.
I'm ready.
Okay. Is there a specific character you would like to get more development in the coming seasons? Like specifically, CMC, Mage 6, most of the characters that you probably think haven't really gotten much screen time or they haven't really had much attention in the past.
Well, I'm not entirely sure if if people would be upset if I gave a like if I talked about possible spoilers, but there's that whole rumor, at least, that the 100th episode is gonna be about background ponies. So I guess I'll answer this question for who I'd like to see in that episode, I guess, because they would get character development of some sort. So I'd say Derpy, but they're probably not gonna go with that one. But like I don't
No,
know,
they already.
Lyra, Bon Bon, or whatever her real name is, Sweetie Drop or whatever. I don't know. They'd be interesting to see them get actually some character development beyond their fan persona. But if we're talking, but the 100th episode rumors aside, I mean, maybe some exploration of Fluttershy's parents, or maybe actually officially confirm that Applejack's parents are in fact dead, like the fandom thinks. Like maybe have some episodes based around that. Like it would kind of interesting to see. Maybe a little too heavy for My Little Pony to cover, but they could try.
I think that's definitely something that the show needs to cover at some point. I mean, it's a good lesson to learn. I mean, it's going to happen to you eventually. So, uh,
So yeah,
Well,
dealing with the loss of a loved one could be an interesting topic for My Little Pony to try to cover, with the kid gloves on, obviously, so it wouldn't go into too much detail. But
it wouldn't be like
I mean,
a
Sesame
stabby,
Street did
killy
it.
kind of.
Sesame Street did a plotline like that, so why can't My Little Pony?
Because we have a wider audience to appeal to.
Mm-hmm. That's probably
yeah, so and basically, I guess to sum up my what I would like to see for character development, parents. I want to see
Family?
the parents and family of the characters. Because I think we've seen Pinkie Pie's parents in flashback.
Like
We've
like a
seen
total
Rainbow
of
Dash's
one or two
dad,
times.
and we've seen Rainbow Dash's dad. And I mean, and then Rarity's parents showed up for one episode or a couple episodes. But there's still a few people who haven't had any established family members.
If you woke up in Ponyville as your character, your OC, what would be the first thing you would do?
That's a good question. I think I would probably. Well, if I did my voice just crack? I don't know. Anyway, sorry. If I woke up as my OC in Ponyville, so would I have? So I'm assuming I'd have my memories of being a human.
Yes.
Put into my OCs, which actually in my reviews I kind of play off my OC as being a character, not really an extension of myself, but this say is an extension of myself for this scenario. I would probably just kind of be, I don't know, excited because Equestria is awesome, except for when it's being terrorized by some bad guy. But it's mostly awesome for most of the days of the year. I'd probably, I don't know, go to Sugar Cube Corner, get something to eat. Hopefully they have coffee, otherwise I'm gonna get very upset and have a.
Where are you gonna get the bits from?
What?
You wouldn't have any money.
Are you gonna work?
Well, then well, true. I wouldn't have any. Dang, I wouldn't have any bits. I would make friends with somebody and have them pay for my first meal.
So you would just mooch off them.
Yes. First thing I would do would be find somebody to mooch off of. Because I would be magically transported to Equestria, put into a green unicorn body with a broken horn, and not have any bits, and I would probably be quite hungry because I imagine being turned into a pony would make you hungry. And I'd probably be thirsty, and so Pinkie Pie is kind of nice. Maybe she'll give me some free food just because I'm a new pony and she hasn't met me yet, and she wants to become my friend.
Oh yeah, she'll throw a party.
What about Rarity? She's the ultimate of generosity.
And also, yeah, well, Rarity's the element of generosity, but I mean, yeah, I can't speak. Pinkie Pie lives in Sugar Cube Corner, so I'd go there first.
Okay.
I don't think I need a dress maid since I'm a guy. Although my voice apparently, according to people in the Rift Cafe, sounds like a female. But yeah, I'm a guy, so I wouldn't need a dress maid, so I wouldn't go to Rarity first. But yeah, Sugar Cube Corner, I guess, and then try to mooch off some people for some food. Hopefully there's coffee, so I don't get a caffeine withdrawal headache.
You just yell to Sugar Cube Corner, and then the whole Batman thing.
Away.
You know.
Yeah. From the old cartoon.
I know, Adam West. All right, next question.
Yeah.
Okay, what motivates you to review / analyze MLP, specifically the comics in this case, and why did you want to start being more involved in the community?
Okay, well, I think according to my YouTube channel, I started uploading stuff. I think it was July-ish. But like back then, it was like I'll make a video whenever I really feel like it. Like I made my first 2 reviews of Return of Queen Chrysalis Part 1, Part 2 because I go comic by comic because I'm insane. I don't want to cover just the arcs. But so like I uploaded I think the first 2, maybe 3, and then kind of just didn't feel like editing. And then what really kind of kicked my butt into gear, I guess, was for a month. I don't remember what. I think it was the month of September. I actually was an editor for KP.
Yeah, me too. back in November to December, I think.
Yeah, I was an editor.
I edited a little bit of the Flight to the Finish review.
Oh, cool. The collab with Solrak where she's explaining why she likes Discord or whatever. You know the ending gag where it tallied up every single time she said Discord or John Delancey in her 2 years on YouTube. Most of that, with the exception of some alterations made by another editor, I edited. I had to go through every single video and podcast she was in and find all the Discords and John Delancey's. Very tedious, but
Really?
it was something to do. But yeah, so once I started editing for KP, I'm like, I should probably focus on my channel now because, yeah. But
Think of the comments.
let's move on to the rest of the story. So basically, I had to leave KP's team of editors because of school, and then because I
Team?
left that, I actually started having more free time than I thought I would. And I'm like, I'm gonna actually make this a weekly thing. And when I started, nobody reviewed the comics, or very few people reviewed them. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna review them, and I'm gonna go comic by comic because, as I said, I am insane. Also, most other people who review the comics, they'll review each arc. Like I think Tommy Oliver is in the middle of a series where he every month or so he reviews an entire arc, but the arcs are a sum of their parts. If you look at the arc as a whole, pretty much every single one is pretty damn good. But if you break it down and look at each individual part, some parts don't actually add up. Like, they don't not add up, but they don't they're not as good as if you look at the whole thing. Like in Return of Queen Chrysalis, part 1 and part 4 are great. Part 2 and 3, you can skip them entirely and not miss anything.
So it's just filler.
Yes, and then the Nightmare Rarity arc. Since I go by the thing that I consider the comics canon, unless the show says otherwise. So in Nightmare Rarity, there's so many continuity errors between that mess with events in the show that I absolutely hate that arc. Like each analyst has their rage button, and mine is Nightmare Rarity. I think I got way off topic. Sorry about that.
Very true. Every reviewer has their thing that they really hate. Everyone who knows me knows what mine is.
Cough, spike at your service, cough.
Spike at your service. That is the worst.
Sorry for getting off topic. I think I answered the question.
Yeah, it was good.
You answered it good.
What would you say your favorite subsection of the MLP community is? Like, we've got artists, writers, reviewers, music creators. We've basically just got the whole studio. So, what's your favorite part of it?
I don't know. I mean, the reviewers are pretty good. I can't speak. Sorry. Yeah, reviewers. That's what I said, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, the reviewers are pretty good, and also there's some pretty good fan fiction. So reviewers and writers, and the subsection of the fandom that's huge into the Fallout Equestria. That's pretty cool.
So the fan fiction writers.
So yeah, fan fiction and reviewers, especially because I actually know somebody who reviews fan fiction, so it kind of bridges the gap.
Well, it depends on how well received the fan fiction he's reviewing is.
Yeah, I guess. His name is Emerald Comet, and he reviews fan fiction. It's pretty cool.
Alright, I think this is the last question, unless you want to add something, Critic. Do you read any other comic book series besides the MLP comics, like Marvel Comics, DC Comics, whatever?
I've kind of been living a lie. I put myself off as kind of knowing comics, but the only comic series I've actually read is the MLP comic series and all the side series like the Micro series and Friends Forever, and actually apparently there's also an Equestria Girls comic series that's coming out soon.
Boy. Yeah.
I heard that there's a Christmas comic from Equestria Girls coming out soon, so I'm assuming IDW is having a series based on that now.
No, there's just there was the one last year in the annual, and then there's the one this year. They're just special ones, not
Oh, okay. Well,
series.
anyways, I've also read some Buffy the Vampire Slayer and all the spin-offs from that. So like the Spike series, the vampire, not the dragon, um, and stuff like that. I've also read some Doctor Who comics and a few Marvel comics, mostly ones that I got at Free Comic Book Day a couple years ago. But I really should get more into comics. The problem is with MLP, it was easy to catch up, but with the other series is between all their retcons and reboots and side series and spin-offs, there's way too much to catch up on. But I would like to become more of a comic book nerd, but currently I am just a fan of the MLP comics, I guess.
Well, so most of your comic love really lies in the Pony comics.
Yes.
If you'd like to check out Comic Sans Pony's channel, the link will be in the description, and GeekySteven's channel will also be in the description. I'm the Ponyville Critic.
My name's GeekySteven.
And I'm Comic Sans.
Thank you for watching, or thank you for listening, or perfect.
Whatever you're doing.
Bye.